Three, two, one. Roll the footage. Welcome back, everybody, to the Strategy Sprints podcast. I'm your host, Simon Severino, and today my guest is media manager for 15 years now and entrepreneur running Xaractiras, a web shop for design paper notebooks, and more to come. She has 2 small kids, and as a hobby, she is studying law. Welcome, everybody, Daniela Prattes.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Simon. Thank you for having me. It's a great honor. I'm looking forward to our talk.
So cool to have you here because you will talk about something that nobody ever talked about on the show. It's fragment yourself.
Yeah.
But first, suspense. But first, what are you currently creating?
Well, actually, at the moment, we are my husband and my sister and me. We are working on the distribution and the sales of our newly designed design paper notebooks, and we started last year during the upcoming pandemic, and we our goal is to provide people who have visions and dreams for their life with the ideal notebook to get there, to achieve their goals. And now we're diving into opening more sales channels, do more marketing, and tell more about our story, because we massively work with storytelling.
Cool. And you have also a role at Sky that you will have after your maternity leave. What's your role at Sky?
Yes, we started this family business during my maternity leave, and I'm still strongly connected to the television industry and my job there. And I go back in March to Sky, and I will get a new role and be responsible for the OTT proposition. OTT is a special term, over the top content, means the Sky content receivable over the internet. And therefore will be responsible for the product proposition and especially sales, of course. It's all about sales. Yeah.
And fragment yourself.
Yeah.
Unpack that.
Yeah, that's a very special sentence, I guess, to most of you. I heard it first, I think, nearly 10 years ago. A very popular and successful Austrian television manager, Gerhard Seiler, said it. And it was the era when more and more other companies came into the television and video market to offer their products, very niche products. And being responsible for one of the big traditional television companies, then he said, well, if the market fragments, we have to fragment ourselves, or you have to fragment ourselves. And I was working with ProSiebenSat.1 then, with the other big German-speaking television broadcasting corporation. And this sentence is with me now since I first heard it, because it's still so true. And it goes together with the big trend individualization.
Mm-hmm.
And it really helps me now also for Xaractiras, our design notebook marketing and sales, because we use storytelling as a main communication marketing tool, and television is all about stories. So the parallel is here I can use. And we have, first of all, at the beginning, we have to focus on one channel, but we have to fragment ourselves as well. So we have to go on different channels to reach people with our stories. And this is simply compared with my television experience the same traditional television companies have to do for nearly 10 years now. So to fragment the channels, where to spread the stories, and it's so true if you are working on a storytelling brand as well. So it's
market fragment yourself. So basically, go where the people go, where
So
the attention.
I come from the very traditional television company. I was with ProSiebenSat.1 for 9 years. I stayed there for 9 years, and so this is it. It was very important for ProSiebenSat.1 to, and also for the RTL Group and all the other traditional media companies over the whole world, to accept the situation that devices are getting more and more important for people. So the smartphone, not only the TV set, the smartphone, the tablets, MacBooks, PCs, and the traditional television channel is also kind of disrupted with the simple internet. And we had to learn, working in the television industry, to provide our content overall channels for all devices. And this was a kind of a hard job at the beginning. It is also, and is still, it's also an expensive job, because you have to maintain your reach as a big media house with more invest. But you can't you can't find another path. So you have to go this path down. You have to more invest. So to keep up with your high reach. And it's also true for a small company as we are now at the moment, using storytelling. It's not enough to pick one communication channel and spread the story. So we have a web shop. So obviously we start to tell our story on our website, but we also have to think about and to play on other communication channels, on, for example, the social media platforms, or on the newsletter tool. So the marketing tools, but really focused on spreading the story to reach your target groups, which are always, no matter what target group you have defined, are put together from more various different tiny target groups. And this is so true in every part of your life, because individualization is always going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So for TV, I guess it's clear that it's 15 years that we as a family don't have a TV, and the last 5 days we were watching the news because new inauguration and capital excitements going on there. Will there be a civil war? So we were watching every day somewhere, but it was on some form of iPad in the kitchen was always going on with MSNBC, but we were not sitting all together in front of one TV. We don't have it since 15 years.
Yeah, and this situation is exactly the one the traditional TV houses had to solve.
Exactly. And even sometimes on the kids' iPad, because I was cooking and then I was telling my kids, "Hey, can I quickly see CNN? Because I want to see what's going on." And then my kids would say, "Okay, you can have my iPad for 2 minutes." And that's fragmentation. Okay.
Yeah. It's you can use other words as well. You can use split, for example, to have a very simple one. But that's the term this TV manager Gerhard Zeiler used, and other managers picked it up, and so I have it in my mind also for our small business to grow it and to spread the messages on different channels.
And so for your notes with character, how are you going to split, and which
our first channel, as I mentioned before, is our website, and I started a couple of weeks ago. I started a blog series called Character of the Week, where I interview, or my husband and my sister interview people about their goals in life, how to reach it, and what roles a paper notebook plays. in the story. And we share this interview, for example, on LinkedIn. So this was the first step to get out of the website. And
Nice.
my sister manages our Instagram channel, and she works more with the product photos and spreading the message. So achieve your goals with appropriate texts going together with the photos. So I think I guess you now think, well, that's not something new. You have to do this today to reach your target groups. But it's for me, it's just you have to start with one channel. Like in television, you had the traditional TV distribution, the traditional TV signal, and from there you have to spread your message for different devices. And it's always you have to have always the consumption situation in your mind. So this is also something I learned from my TV engagement. Always be aware, what is the situation your target group is now being in when getting contact with your stories.
Cool.
And yeah, you have to design your messages for this situation, for the situation itself, for the device it's used, for the channel, the stories going to the device. So yeah, you have to design the process for yourself.
Context, context, context. Cool.
Yes.
All right. I'm excited who you pick for the strategy award after one word from our sponsor.
Hey, if you love what you are hearing, you will love our free masterclasses. Go grab them at strategysprints.com.
Who gets nominated for the strategy award?
Well, this was a tough question for me, but at the end, I have one clear answer. It's Thomas Eberling, the former CEO of ProSieben Sat.1. He really inspired me. I worked with ProSieben Sat.1 when he was CEO of the group, and he was very known as a so-called micromanager. You can think, well, it can be a good thing or a bad thing being a micromanager. But what I really admired was that he never used his CEO position to demonstrate being a CEO, but he really got into the topics like fragment yourself to understand the new technology. He tried it out himself. Then he wrote emails in the evening when he sat at home and tried it out. And it was really inspiring how to manage on the top position such a corporation as a CEO by simply doing the things other people do, which I want to reach with my programs. And I guess this is nothing that all CEOs in this world do. Really sit down themselves and get into the situation people are in, as I mentioned before, to know how to get your product, your service in the right way to your target group.
Beautiful. Some people call this servant leadership, and definitely it has the strong part that he really connects to what this is really all about.
Yeah,
and he's not disconnected. And it's why people try not to micromanage is because they need time to do the job that only CEOs can do: vision, growth, hiring, firing. And but he managed to do both, so that's a wonderful.
Yeah, he did all, and I was really a great supporter of him as our CEO, and he had a lot of admirers in the corporation. Because he wasn't a man showing up on any parties or dinners or something like that, because in the media industry there's lots of stuff going on like this. But he really, he really focused even his spare time on understanding the way the company has to go.
Strong, cool. And thank you. And what are 3 books that inspired you
I
most?
like this question because I read a lot, and I really appreciate recommendations from others. So I feel honored to give recommendations now myself. So obviously the one I have to show you, this one,
Oh, I love. Yeah.
building a strong story brand from Donald Miller. My sister read it, and then she handed it over to me because we early decided to build our company Charakteres on storytelling.
Yeah.
And I read this book in a couple of days, and then I made notes to have all the concepts on one piece of paper. And then, based on these notes, I wrote down the guideline for our storytelling. So this was really helpful, this book.
I
Then,
love it. I heard it as an audiobook while I was running. I think I did it in 3 runs. And then what the main thing that I got out of it is you need an enemy. No story without the
yeah,
nemesis.
yeah,
And I wasn't
yeah,
thinking about that.
yeah. And your product is not the hero, it's your target group, all the people
Exactly.
you are designed the product for. They are the heroes.
Exactly.
So then I read a lot regarding personal growth. And before my first child, before I received my first child, before the birth of my daughter, I'm so happy that I finished Carol Dweck. It's in English, it's Mindset.
Mhm.
And Carol Dweck is famous for her scientific work and her psychology dealing with your mindset and the perception of yourself. And it's about being in aesthetic self-perception versus being in a I have to find the word now. Aesthetic versus dynamic self-perception. And this book really helped me to recognize that regarding certain parts of my life, I was in a very static mindset. Static means that having the feeling that I have to be something which I can't change. And the dynamic self-perception is all about you can change anything you want to change with yourself. And it's really helpful. This scheme is really helpful also for education. So I was really happy to finish this book before the birth of my first child. Because I not only I based my personal development on this scheme, but also my education concept for my two children. And the third book is my current reading. It's the book from Gerlinde Kaltenbrunner, the Austrian woman who did all the 14 8,000ers over the world. And well, I will finish it this evening. There's one chapter ahead, and it's about her experience. She tells about her expeditions to Mount Everest and all the other 8,000ers. And it's really helpful to get to know her strategies regarding expeditions, where you have to take your time, wait for weeks if the weather gets bright, to take a medium risk. So you can't do it without risk, but you will die if you take too much risk. So yeah,
Over the top content you are
yeah.
preparing already. Cool. What is something you recently changed your mind about?
Well, I changed my mind about I'm able to network via the digital channels. How comes this? I'm for about a year now in maternity leave, and last year when the first lockdown came, I had made the decision I want to network again to have important people on hands when I go back into my job or when I work on our new business. And then came the first lockdown, and then I was stunned and said to myself, oh wow, I recently took the decision I want to network again, and now I can't, sitting at home. And then I changed my mind about it and said, well, I use the internet, the video conference tools, and my devices, and I started doing it.
Absolutely. And what's next in your journey with your startup? What topics are you excited about exploring and solving?
I'm regarding Characters, our design paper notebook is. I'm looking forward to spread our story on more channels. It's hard work because it's all very time consuming.
Can you show one?
Yeah, of course. So
for people listening, he's showing the product.
My favorite one is this.
Beautiful.
In rose gold. Yeah. So a trend color from the clothing. And it says character. That's the female edition. So with the female iconic graphic. Yeah. It's wrapped in paper. So this is no foil, but paper. You have a very nice, smooth haptic experience, and it has premium pages inside. So it's a far better paper than in other notebooks I know from my usage. Yeah.
Does it smell good? It looks good. Does it smell good for everybody who cannot smell right now?
No, it has no special smell. So.
And then there is also the masculine option.
Yes, there is, but I don't have it here on the table. No, sorry, don't have it on the table now.
And that's white or gray or black?
We have for the female edition, we have rosé gold eucalyptus, which was kind of we tried it out and it really worked out. So it was a surprise. And dark blue for people or women who don't want a light color but a dark color. And the pure collection is the very simple design is in black, in dark blue, and in platinum.
Did you do research first and then choose the colors, or you chose the color and then we know?
We did a little research on how people deal with the word character and all topics connected to it. So what are their association with it for our storytelling? And regarding the color palette we choose, it was market research in the way that we looked, for example, into the clothing industry or also the jewelry industry, what colors are famous at the moment or popular at the moment. And this is how my sister came up with eucalyptus, for example, because we saw it in the fashion industry.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where can people buy it?
On xaracteras.com, on our web shop. We still have to translate it into English, so we wanted to focus on the German-speaking markets first. And as everything is very time-consuming, we postponed the English translation. But it's very self-explaining, so you can buy it on exactas.com or just simple write me a message, and I will make sure that you will get one.
Beautiful.
Via email contact.
Absolutely. Yeah, they look stunning. And who should be my next guest?
Well, I have two suggestions. First of all, my twin sister, Cornelia Moser. She's working in the pharma industry for 15 years now. So she has a totally different background than I have. And it's always very helpful for me talking to her. She has a totally different experience than I have, and I think all her experience and her view, especially her view on things now in context of the pandemic and the health topics, and so it's really good to talk to her. And my second suggestion would be Gunter Schmutzberger. This is a study fellow of mine from my former media management studies. I interviewed him today in the morning for our blog series, Character of the Week. And he's a business consultant himself, and he has a very special view on different things. Like he quoted, for example, today C.G. Jung, the psychologist, who said that ideas are in the world. That's a free translation now. Ideas are in the world. They just meet you. So don't think that ideas come out of yourself. You meet the ideas. They are already out in the world. And if you meet an idea, it's kind of it's your obligation to do something with it. So yeah, I can recommend those two.
Super cool. Thank you so much. Is there anything I forgot to ask you?
Oh, wow. That's the hardest question. Well, just one thing to get back to my message: fragment yourself, or fragment your communication channels. It's really not something new, I guess, for your audience, but I think it's a new point of view. Just start with one channel, as the traditional television industry did, and then diversify, fragment the channels of your story step by step to reach more and more of our target group and your future customers.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Daniela.
Thank you, Simon, for having me. Bye.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue